You know, there's a phrase we repeat all the time, almost without even thinking about it. But if we're being completely honest, right now, today, you probably lack something. Maybe you're in short of money right at the end of the month. Or maybe you're lacking the peace you just really need to close your eyes and get a good night's sleep. Or perhaps you just lack direction, and you honestly have no idea what your next step is even supposed to be.
And it's in those moments of very real scarcity that this really uncomfortable question tends to creep into the back of your mind. If God is my shepherd, well, why do I feel like I'm lacking so much? So right now, I just want you to set aside everything you think you already know about this passage. Let's just listen to it slowly, almost as if you're hearing it for the very first time.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's just 10 words, but those 10 words literally hold an entire universe of meaning. David wrote this, and as we start to unpack this together, it is absolutely crucial to remember that David deeply knew about sheep. You see, long before he was ever a king, sitting on some fancy throne, he was a shepherd. He spent entire, grueling nights out under the stars, just tending his flock in the open fields. He didn't pick this imagery just because it sounded poetic or pretty. No, he chose it because he actually knew the gritty, everyday reality of it from the inside out.
Because here's the thing. A sheep is not a strong animal, and it's certainly not a cunning one either. It literally can't find water on its own. It can't defend itself from predators. Honestly, it can't even find its way back home if it happens to wander off. A sheep survives for one reason and one reason only, because someone else is caring for it. And that right there is the full honest admission David is making about his own soul. He's not standing there saying, hey, I can manage on my own. What he is saying is, I depend entirely on someone else.
And this is the paradigm shift that kind of changes everything. When David says, I shall not want, he really isn't making some sweeping promise that you're going to get every little thing your heart desires. In fact, if we look back at the original language, the idea is much more sober, but also infinitely more profound. It actually means you will not lack what you truly need. You won't lack the absolute essentials. Because let's face it, there's a vast, quiet difference between what we desire and what we actually need. And almost all of our daily anxiety just lives right there in that gap. Think of it like this. Imagine a child crying bitterly because they want candy right before dinner. A good father isn't going to just hand over the candy, right? Instead, he gives the child the actual food that sustains them, even if the child didn't ask for it or even understand it in that particular moment. The father isn't being stingy at all. He's caring for them. So often we go to God asking for candy, and then we complain when he gives us bread. But the truth is, the bread is exactly what keeps us standing.
So why does all this matter for you today? Well, it matters because God doesn't promise to just hand over everything your heart desires, but he does promise something infinitely better. He promises to shepherd you, to deeply care for you, to guide you, and to stay right by your side through it all.
And I want you to notice something here that almost no one sees. The very same psalm that says, I shall not want, also speaks just a few short verses later of walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Having the shepherd doesn't mean you're never going to cross the dark valley. It definitely doesn't mean you're somehow immune to pain or to scarcity. What it means is that you will never have to cross it alone. That is the true provision. It's not that all your problems are just instantly taken away, but that in the very midst of them, your hand is never ever let go. Okay, so what do we actually do with this today? Well, I want to invite you to take a practical step with me. First, I want you to name the exact need that is stealing your peace right now. Is it money? Maybe it's your health or some big looming decision. Whatever it is, just give it a name. Next, I want you to acknowledge God as the shepherd over that specific area, that exact thing that's been keeping you up at night. And third, just take one small, tangible step of trust. Maybe that means you stop checking your bank account for the 10th time today. Or maybe you just turn off your phone for half an hour. Just do one small gesture that says, you know what, I don't have to control everything, because someone is looking after me. Now, if you're in a place where you safely can, go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment and pray with me, simply and sincerely. Lord, today I find it really hard to trust. You know exactly what I lack, and you know exactly what worries me. I just surrender it all to you. I acknowledge that you are my shepherd. Please provide what I truly need, guide me, and just help me rest in your care. Amen. Look, you might be lacking a lot of things today, but I promise you, if you have the shepherd, you have the most essential thing. So hold on to this verse for the next time anxiety tries to speak loudly to you again. Just ask yourself, what is one burden you can finally let the shepherd carry today? One verse, one step, every day.